It's gonna be bad. Really, really bad.
Hey guys, it's Steffi, and today I'm here with my dad. Say hello.
Hi.
And I asked on Instagram for some questions to ask my dad because a lot of you are curious about who he is and what he thinks of my lifestyle and stuff like that. So I'm gonna ask him questions. Okay, so who are you and what do you do?
My name's Eric, and I've been in the car business my whole life. I bought a Jaguar when I was 14 that had a blown engine in it. I started fixing that up. I had gone from mini bikes and motorcycles to a Jaguar, and that's how my career started.
Yeah, so basically he likes cars. What do you think of me doing YouTube and art as a career?
I think it's great. I never thought she would be able to make a living from doing something that she loved, but I was never concerned about her making it because she took her art so seriously, and she's doing awesome with it.
Oh, thanks. Do you watch my videos?
I don't watch them all, but when I have time I do watch them.
What do you think of them?
Some of them are kind of crazy, but they're funny, and I know they're a little kooky sometimes. But
what did you think of me moving into my car?
Well, everyone said to me when you were moving into your car and we're going to drive cross country, aren't you worried about Steffi traveling by herself? And I told them two things. I said, for one, she's been living in Roxbury for 3 years, going to college, and she lived through that.
That's like the sketchy part of Boston.
And I figured it would have to be safer than that. And the other thing was, she was old enough, I couldn't tell her what to do, so I figured it was better just to let her do what she wanted. I never thought it would turn out as well as it did.
What did you think when I went to other countries, like Asia?
I actually felt safer when she was in other countries. It just seemed like there would be less crime there and less problems. When she first told me she was going to Thailand, I had a vision in my mind of like the back streets of Bangkok or something, and I was all worried about, what it was going to be like. And then when she started sending her videos and it was just elephants and monkeys and everything, I felt a lot better about it.
What do you think of Jason?
Jason, what do I think about Jason? I think Jason's a strange dude, but I thought that he was like a blue-haired gargoyle that would keep the weirdos away from Steffi because they'd be afraid of him.
What did you think when I first came home with a tattoo when I was 18?
I didn't actually know when Steffi got her first tattoo. When Steffi was like 16, she started on the tattoo kick, and she wanted me to bring her to somewhere when she first turned 17 to get a tattoo. She thought that with my permission she could get a tattoo, but there was only one state in the union that you could do that. That was Utah, and I wasn't going to bring her there. I thought the whole thing had just kind of died down. She turned 18. She never said anything about it. And then one day in the mail, a little postcard came from a tattoo place out in Western Mass as a thank you card, and that's how I actually found out.
Really?
Steffi had kept it a secret until then.
What was your reaction when you found out I had cystic fibrosis?
That was a really, really tough time. Steffi was a year and a half old. She used to have like a little beer belly type thing, and we thought it was cute. She was just a little toddler, and she had this stomach. And then one day when she was at her pediatrician's, the doctor looked at her and said, that's not normal. There's something going on with her, and they did what's called a sweat test, because that's part of CF is how much salt you have in your body. And when they did the test, they found out that Steffi had cystic fibrosis. It was pretty devastating at the time. I didn't know anything about it. I had to research it and everything. And when I was a kid, you only lived to be like 5 years old. It can be really serious, but they've made so much progress since then that it hasn't been a huge big problem. I mean,
I'm older than 5.
Well, now Steffi's 23 and she's doing
still
well.
Alive. What was I like as a child?
Steffi was a funny kid. She used to make up her own words for things. She was cute. She was funny.
I still am, right?
Well, she's still cute. But anyway, Steffi was a unique child, and she's grown into a unique adult.
Oh, thanks. What did I do when I was little?
She always loved animals, especially dogs and cats. Whenever anybody would bring over an animal, she would hug them. And I knew she was destined to be an animal lover. I have pictures that Steffi drew. She was probably only 2 or 3 years old. There's a picture that looks like a truck I have now that I think Steffi must have had a premonition about when she was young, because it's the closest thing to that truck that anybody's ever drawn. She could draw better when she was 6 years old than I can today.
How did the loss of Mama affect you?
Normally, when I have a problem in my life, I can make a phone call and get just about anything fixed. And when I found out that Stephi's mother had cancer, there wasn't much we could do about it. I mean, we had the best doctors and everything living near Boston, and the type of cancer that Cindy had was the type of cancer that nobody's ever lived through. It all started, she called me up one day. She was with the girls and Stephi, and they were driving, and she said she was disoriented and had pulled over to the side of the road, and she was confused. She thought it was yesterday, and she thought it was tomorrow, and all kinds of stuff. And so she ended up going to her doctor. They did some blood work, and that's how they found out that she had cancer. She had a brain tumor, and at the same time they found out that she had a tumor on her lung. Took the brain tumor out right away. They did it on a Friday. By Sunday night she was home. She was doing her chores with the horses and everything, and she was doing really well. They said the reason they weren't going to take the spot out on her lung was because they figured by the time that they looked at her again, the cancer would have spread everywhere. The cancer didn't spread everywhere, and so they did go in and they removed that, and everything was going reasonably well for a while, and then it started popping up here and there, and that's when we knew we had problems. Because of Stephi and her sisters and the horses, her mother lasted 3 times longer than they said she was supposed to live, and she just wouldn't give up.
What was it like raising 3 girls on your own without a wife?
When Cindy died, we had 22 horses on the property. That was my responsibility. It already had been for a while, but now I had to do everything. I had to get Stephi up, get her ready for school in the morning. That was after I had gotten up, fed the horses and everything. That was at like 4 o'clock in the morning. I'd get Stephi ready, get her off on the bus. After she was ready, I'd have to go and get the twins up, get them ready for school, get them off. It was a lot. There wasn't much I could do about it. I just did what I had to do. It wasn't easy. Everybody told me it was too much for one person to handle. And the more people told me that, the more I just wanted to show them that I could do it. And I never really had a chance to think about, what I was doing. I just did it.
You're good, Dubs. How was I as a teenager?
That was another challenge. Stephi was a little out of control. Not too bad.
I was not.
You were.
I didn't even do anything. I didn't have any friends.
When Stephi was young, she had besides cystic fibrosis, she had another condition called selective mutism. What that means is Stephi didn't talk to more than a handful of people. She talked to me and her mother. She talked to her friend Katie and stuff. That became a big problem when Stephi was in school because she wouldn't talk to her teachers. Her mother discovered that if Stephi ever said one word to you, it would open the floodgate and then she would talk. Cindy would go to Stephi's school and she would play cards with Stephi and her teachers. They'd play that game Go Fish. She would say one word to the teacher, then she would start talking, and then she could, have a relationship with them like a normal teacher or student.
Why was I like that?
We never figured out why Stephi had selective mutism. We don't know whether it was the stress from having cystic fibrosis when she was a kid. Stephi hated needles, and when she used to go into the hospital when she was little, she was traumatized by having to get shots and blood drawn.
Still am.
And she still is. Ever since she got over her selective mutism and started talking, she's never stopped talking.
I don't talk that much.
Well, you're not grandma, but you talk enough.
You never really answered what I was like in high school. I wasn't a troublemaker. I didn't even do anything.
She would tell me that she was sleeping over at a friend's house or something, and then she'd go off to these concerts by herself.
I would go to Blood on the Dance Floor concerts.
And who was the other one?
Black Veiled Brides.
Black Veiled Brides and stuff. And I found out accidentally about her going to some of these concerts and waiting at the back door of the place for the people to come out. And she was like 15, 16 years old, and I wasn't too happy about that.
But I didn't die.
No, she didn't die, but she could have gotten herself into some bad trouble. I mean, she was a young girl and hanging around with
one time,
rock guys.
Dobby Vanity from Blood on the Dance Floor, when I was waiting by the back door, he asked me if I wanted to come party with them, but then he found out I was underage, and then he was like, never mind. See, I'm good, I didn't go party.
Yeah, but you certainly didn't make it easy for me. You were a handful.
At least I didn't have friends or boys or anything like Taylor and Lexi have. I didn't drink, I didn't smoke, I didn't date. I was easy.
Easy for you. He was just into a lot of weird music and strange people and all this Marilyn Manson type stuff.
And now he's on my leg.
Yes,
you like it?
I like that one better than her first tattoo.
This
was the first one she got, and that one was a little bit weird.
How is it weird? It's just Edward Scissorhands. It's a good movie.
It is a good movie.
I think that's all the questions. I hope you guys enjoyed meeting my dad.
I want you guys to know this is my first movie, so...
Yeah, he's a little camera shy, so...
I am camera shy. I'm a very shy person.
Yeah, he's shy like me. But thanks for being in my video.
Okay.
And don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.
Bye.